Welcome to the driver's presentation of the 1986 Formula 1 World Championship to be run at ISO in 2021 on Automobilista. While this video purposely has 1980 style graphics to mimic those of the real season review, rest assured that our live broadcast will be up to the usual standards. And now let's take a look at this year's cast. McLaren didn't have the best of seasons in 2020, yet the team chose to retain its primary crash test driver, Juha Boss, after a season in which his car had more hits than the Beatles. The reliable side of the team is formed by Brazilian Bruno Chacon, who was drafted in to drive the second car following his excellent form in pre-season testing. The place vacated by Bruno Williams is filled by Benetton refugee Adam Hackman, who will be out to prove Americans also have a liking for tracks with more than 4 turns in the same direction. The team will again be led by Dave Miller, who spent 2020 improving on his Nigel Mansell method acting by coming as close to the title without actually winning it. Cheered on by the most active fan club at ISO, Dave gets another chance to prove he can outdo our Nige and bring the title home for Williams. The problem with Ferraris is they hardly ever go as fast as they look, a trend the F1 86 tries to invert by looking uglier than its predecessor. After a literally pointless 2020, the Moronella team have acquired the services of Anders Nilsson, who is rapidly climbing the list of Sweden's most popular export products. Currently placed second in that list between ABBA and IKEA's meatballs, he'll be aiming to go one better and be the winner who takes it all. His teammate Richard Coxon will let his driving do the talking, which is probably a good thing as nobody yet managed to make sense of his Yorkshire accent. The Lotus could prove to be the car to have in qualifying. Unfortunately for its drivers, the race is to be run after that. Richard Wilkes, the brains behind the physics of this mod, retired midway through the 2020 season to focus on the excellent cars we'll get to see this year. With Wilkes imposing less restrictions on his teammate than the original driver of car 12, rapid German Tim Hiller was welcomed into the team's second car. If Formula 1 races were run on drag strips, nothing would touch the BT55 Brabham. The presence of the odd turn will make life more complicated for Gordon Murray's remarkable creation, but with 7 speeds at their disposal, its drivers look all geared up to take the BMW engine to new heights, unlike the car's flat design. Guillaume Michiels moves over from Ligier, where he spent last season fighting in the heavyweight category, while last year's Indy 500 pole sitter Brian Janik is a man familiar with high speeds. A surprise winner for Minardi in Hungary, he'll be looking to fly high while riding low. Another British-built car with the BMW engine and adorned with Italian sponsors, the Benetton isn't as shy when it comes to handling corners as the Brabham. The car looks an outsider once the engine can get rid of its un-German habit of signalling an early retreat. Having shown last year he can win races in cars painted green, Gabriele Del Piccolo will unite under the colours of Benetton with USAC champion and Indy 500 winner David Jakes, who spent most of last year's Formula 1 season collecting second places in the Dallara. The 1986 Ligier is an entirely French effort. With the car looking more competitive than before, points finishes could be on the cards, providing the Renault engine actually gets it there. To add to the usual French confusion, or an effort to save money on stickers, both drivers carry the same name. Grant Ridal will aim to show he masters everything Father Ray has taught him, but better, whereas the senior Ridal is there to prove there's no substitute for experience. The difficult task to have all arrows pointing in the right direction is entrusted to David Junt and Francois Remen. With only a customer BMW engine at their disposal, the car is unlikely to feature at the speed traps, but it might stand a chance if it turns out to be as reliable as a Swiss watch and doesn't go double Dutch. Winners of last year's Drivers' Championship and second in the Constructors' standings, Tyrell are the final team to benefit from the Renault power plant. After a season in true Ferrari style with more potential than points, David Saber will be looking to redeem himself. The same can be said for his teammate Vadim Tachak, who also saw more than his fair share of breakdown trucks. The Haas team has entered a car known as the Lola Ford, although in reality it is neither of those. The chassis, a Lola name only, will grow a new Ford engine during the season. It remains to be seen whether this mobile American identity crisis will be a force to be reckoned with or turn its drivers Jules Bouchard and John Thiem into has-beens. Last year, Minardi succeeded where Ferrari failed, driving the prancing horse's engine to win in Hungary. This year's effort will have to make do with a Motori Moderni engine and a budget lower than McLaren's catering bill. After a late season debut last year, Thomas Matusek was chosen to lead the Italian team. In the second car, Bruno Paggiolo will be hoping his season lasts longer than his attempt at the pre-season test, when he was taken out in the first corner, which roughly coincides with the average race distance covered by the Minardi drivers in 1986. The Osellas being the least competitive cars on the grid, we couldn't bring ourselves to force them upon anyone. However, they will be available as one-off drives at every race. Brave drivers are welcomed to stand in for the sympathetic little Italian team, although we cannot guarantee a supply of women similar to the one obtained by Christian Danner to confront them when the cars perform their usual premature disintegration. Former Ferrari drivers Mike Olsen and Cesare Slapinski have followed the village people's advice by going west. At Zakspeed, they will occasionally run their cars in East livery, but it's hoped that the duo will find the true north and don't see their season go down south in a car built entirely in-house by the small German outfit. The final team which will make its presence felt is the one found in the commentary booth. Jason White and Alberto Ibanez, both experts at turning left, will aim to get all the facts right, bringing you the ins and outs from the start in Rio to the finish down under in Adelaide. His requests for front-wheel drive, a 2-litre engine and the roof being denied by multiple teams, Jonathan Asselklint will be the occasional backup man during our live broadcasts, which will undoubtedly have you sitting on the edge of your seat during an exciting year which will start on the 17th of January in Rio.